let's say I want to add a little bit of movement to my letters. So at the moment, of course, this is what we're aiming for. And at the moment, we just have an A on the page. So let's say we want to just shift this off to the right a little bit. How would I do that? Well, what I want to do is take this source A and then move its destination based on the frame count. The more it increases in frame count, the more it moves to the right. So how would I do that? How would I move it to the right? Well, I want to keep the source the same if I want to move this to the right, because I want to select this A that we've drawn, but then the destination needs to move to the right. So which is the right direction? The right direction is the X direction. I'm going to add to this destination. I'm going to do plus frame count with a capital C in there. But if I see this right now, what I'll get is this kind of effect. And the reason for that is it's just never clearing the animation. So if I refresh, you'll see it draw and then just keep drawing a straight line. How do I kind of fix that so it moves and kind of resets every time? Well, the reason for that is every single time that I draw, there isn't this kind of background being filled in. We've seen the old version ghosted. So what we want to do is just quickly in our draw is right at the start, we want to add in the background each time we draw anything. What color is the background? Well, again, I can go to my style sheet and pick the same color. The background is this one. And I do need this in quotes again. So in quotes, I'm going to add this color. Now what this will do is it will add this kind of movement. And as you can see, if I just quickly refresh, it will start in the middle and kind of add to the page. Now, of course, what I can do is start to stretch and bend this type instead. So instead of maybe being DX, I could move this plus frame count to Y, which will make it go down the page, of course. There it goes. I could move it to DW, which makes it go wider, which is starting to make it look a little bit like what we want to do. L, I could do it on the height as well. So I can change this frame count on here. How's that look? Kind of makes it look like it's sliding down the page. So basically all of these kind of grid areas are starting to kind of fill in with the text itself. So we've got this kind of like A appearing in a kind of like gridded kind of way. Now, the way that we actually do this kind of final movement isn't by actually changing the destination. We want the kind of boxes to stay in the same place. We actually want the source to be the one that moves instead. So we kind of want to do the opposite of what we've thought. So for instance, if we want to move this right, the source is actually the thing that moves. So for instance, if I do plus frame count here, it will do it in the opposite way, because the source is moving the destination. If I want it to move, I kind of want to do it in a negative direction, the minus frame count. So this will move it in that way instead. All of the things I want to do is keep the destination the same as what it should be, but then I want to start to play around with the source. So the thing that I'm going to do isn't just minus frame count. What I want to do is actually add some distortion in here to basically make it look like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually add one new thing into my loop. I'm going to add a constant called distortion. And for now, I'm just going to make this equal to frame count. And what I'm going to do is replace this with plus distortion. So I'm going to add some distortion in the source X direction only. So notice on this final one, it's only really moving in this kind of direction. So for now, what we should see is something that looks like this, kind of moving off to the left, because I'm adding stuff and it's adding distortion to the right on the source. So the destination moves to the left. But how do I make this kind of thing what we had in our previous project? Well, this was using the sine wave. So I'm going to add around this frame count sine and in brackets. I'm going to put this in to add some kind of wave in here instead. But what we'll see now is this kind of shudder effect, which doesn't look too good. Now, why is it just shuddering like this? Well, sine at the moment goes between 1 and -1. So it's adding this kind of like 2 pixel movement in here. It's moving a little bit too quick for my liking. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually slow this down. To slow down this movement, what I want to do is within my sine, I want to times this frame count by something quite small. So something like 0.05, so it's 20 times slower. Now the reason for doing this is I don't want it to be shaking so much as quickly as it does. So now it's moving, if I kind of move my cursor here, but just really, really slowly moving. There's a very slight movement between them. How do I increase this? So what I'm going to do is actually just increase this whole thing by a number. So I'm going to times this 0 as this 1 to -1 going to times this all by 50. So this is the speed of the wave that's moving back and forth. This is the kind of distance that the wave will go over. So plus or minus 50 now. So what we should see now is this kind of wave going back and forth. Now, one thing that we can do as part of this is start to add a little bit more movement per grid. So we're going to talk about that in the next video.